Welcome back. This is a piece of pecan that I had in the shop, and I recently posted a video on Facebook about the March of the Tamale Wrappers. And so there was a farm that had spilled some of the corn, and I decided to get some, and this is the first of many projects with it. So what I'm doing is I'm attaching it to the lathe by a wood screw, and I'm drilling the hole for it, and I'm going to get it mounted and started turning. So here, what I'm doing is I'm marking for the mortise so I can reverse it and put it on the chuck. Now I have a card for every one of my chuck jaws that I can just line up, and then I can mark where, how wide it needs to be. So what I'm using is a tool called a bedanish. It's a square tool, and what I'm doing is I'm cutting the groove for the corn to fit in before I put the resin in. So what I'm doing is I'm measuring the depth of the groove because I don't want to actually cut into the kernels. I want the kernels to stay whole. And so I want to make sure that it's deep enough, and that's what I'm doing. So I got the groove cut, and I decided that if I did just the wood, I didn't think the corn kernels would come out as good as show up as good as I think they should. And so I decided to use green and black, and so I'm going to put a background layer, and then put the corn, and then put the clear epoxy. So this is the next day. The resin is dried, and so now I'm putting the kernels in. And I'm wanting just a single layer, but I'm also wanting some of the color to come through as well. So I get them all lined up, get everything good, and then I mix and pour the clear resin. Here I switched to the Easy Wood tool. It's the #1 hollowing. The reason why I did that is because I wanted to undercut the rim. I think it just gives it a more unique look, and plus it's going to lighten the bowl up and makes it look a little bit better. So I got it turned, and now I'm going to sand. I want to start at about 100 grit, and then I'm going to go all the way up to 600, and then I'm going to use some denatured alcohol to kind of clean it off, and then I'm going to use Yorkshire grit, which is an abrasive paste. I'm going to both use the black, which is a little bit more coarse, and then the fine, which is specifically for like acrylics. And then I'm going to put some. I'm going to finish. The finish I'm going to put on it is a friction polish. Basically, you put it on and then you heat it up, and as it heats up, it hardens and creates a nice, shiny, durable surface. So I'm going to use what they call cold jaws to work on the bottom of the bowl. And so this allows me to turn it over. I'm able to turn on the bottom, make sure that the foot sits well. It doesn't move, doesn't rock. And then I'm going to go in and pretty much finish the bottom like I did the front. And then I'm also going to put a couple of grooves, burn some little lines in there, and then use a texturing tool just to kind of finish up the bottom.